Welcome to the 700 Club. President Trump is now walking it back after his tweet that the U.S. was locked and loaded. What's the president saying now? And where's the evidence that Iran is to blame for the attack on Saudi Arabia?
No need to panic, says the president, even as gas and oil prices surged nearly 15% yesterday. Here's Gary Lane.
After tweeting that the United States was locked and loaded and ready to respond to the Iranian attack, the president backed off a bit on Monday, suggesting that a U.S. military response may not happen. He said the attack was against Saudi Arabia, not the United States.
But we would certainly help them. They've been a great ally. I don't want war with anybody. I'm somebody that would like not to have war.
President Trump is taking a wait-and-see approach, wanting to see evidence proving Iran launched the massive attack on the Saudi oil refinery. Iran says its proxy, the Houthi rebels in neighboring Yemen, were responsible. But a U.S. official says 12 cruise missiles and 20 drones were used in the missile strike. Both the U.S. and Saudi Arabia insist the Houthis are incapable of making such an attack. At least one drone and one missile were left intact. An investigation is underway, but the Saudis say the armaments were Iranian-made, and they say the airstrike likely came from Iran or Iraq, not neighboring Yemen. Saturday's attack means 5% of the world's oil supply is now shut down, and gas prices may jump as high as 25 cents a gallon here in the United States. At a Keep America Great rally in New Mexico Monday night, President Trump tried to calm concerns about rising prices.
But a few years ago, they would have been in a panic. Today, we got a lot of oil, we got a lot of gas.
And it's his policies, says the president, that have caused the United States to become the world's #1 producer of oil and natural gas. Trump adds that has created a lot of jobs, not only in New Mexico, but throughout the United States. Gary Lane, CBN News.
Well, this is unbelievable information that we're getting today. Back on Saturday during the strike, Houthi general claimed credit for it. He's in Yemen. He's part of the rebel group that's trying to overthrow the government there, and he's backed by Iran. But he said we had an army of 10 drones, and we launched that strike. Well, now it's coming out. It's not just drones, and it's certainly not 10 drones. It's now 20. And then you add on top of it 12 cruise missiles. Well, I'm sorry, a rebel group in Yemen doesn't have the technology to launch cruise missiles. So what's the source of this? If the source turns out to be Iran, this is an act of war. You can't turn away from it. They have intentionally gone after the oil production of Saudi Arabia to cripple their economy and in turn cripple the world economy. Why are they doing it? The sanctions that the world is imposing on them for their effort to try to get a nuclear weapon. Fast forward a few years, if Iran is able to get a nuclear weapon and there's no response to this, what do you think they're going to do with that? Their goal, and it's been a goal for some time, is to create a land corridor between their capital and Israel. And they intend to use that land corridor to attack Israel. That's what we're looking at. The stakes couldn't be any higher. In other news, Israel is voting today in national elections. John Jessup has more on that story from our CBN News Bureau in Washington. John?
That's right, Gordon. It is the second time in less than 6 months Israelis have gone to the polls. They hope this time around the winners of the do-over election can form a governing coalition. Many see it as a referendum on Israel's longest-serving Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. The opposition slogan is anyone but Bibi, while Netanyahu's Likud party says only Bibi. CBN News asked Israelis at the polls what's driving their vote.
The most important issue for us is the education of the children.
Especially, I want to see a change with the negotiations with our neighbors.
The security of the country, because I believe people should be able to live feeling secure.
Political observers predict the lowest voter turnout ever. You can stay with CBNNews.com and the CBN News channel throughout the day for election updates. House Judiciary Chairman Jerry Nadler holds the first hearing in an impeachment investigation into President Trump today. Former Trump campaign manager Corey Lewandowski is scheduled to testify before the committee. The topic? Special Counsel Robert Mueller's report on Russian interference in the 2016 presidential campaign. 2 other former Trump aides have been subpoenaed but won't appear on White House orders. Well, New York is banning flavored e-cigarettes amid what's being called a vaping health crisis. Governor Andrew Cuomo says he's taking emergency executive action to outlaw the sale of fruit and candy flavored e-cigarettes. This follows an outbreak of vaping-related lung illnesses among young people. Meanwhile, the Centers for Disease Control is activating its Emergency Operations Center. It's a command post where teams monitor public health emergencies, share information, and coordinate responses. Authorities have identified at least 380 cases of vaping-related illnesses and 7 deaths in 36 states.